PvP class tuning incoming on March 11th. Healer adjustments and more. Oh no. So the following PvP class adjustments will arrive on March 11th. PvP and PvE are necessary. Blah, blah, blah. Will to survive. First thing, player versus player. Will to survive, which is the human racial and gladiator's medallion, which is PvP trinket. Now share a 60-second cooldown for healers was 90 seconds. That's insane. That's 1 minute cooldown. Oh wow. It was already 2 minutes and then it got taken to 90 seconds and now it's 1 minute. That's crazy. That's actually gonna be overpowered. That's gonna be insane. That's gonna be insane actually. That's gonna be a huge difference. That's probably the biggest change that I've seen in a minute. Restoration Druid. All healing increased by 5% in PvP. Ancient and lore PvP talent. This is probably needed. You know, I don't really see many Ardros. Ancient lore PvP talent damage reduction increased by 30%. Was 20%. Now they're tankier. Ancient lore's mass blooming cooldown reduced to 7 seconds was 8 seconds. So buff all around for resto druids. Healing increased and they're tankier. So that's like two things that they literally just had problems with. They just sucked all around. Now it looks like they're getting buffed. Good work in the right direction. Evoker, Prez Evoker. These things were so broken in Blitz for flag carrying and everything. Dream Breath healing increased by 20% in PvP combat. That is a straight buff for them. I don't even know how they're doing exactly. I haven't seen too many of them in Blitz, but they get a buff. So here we go. Hunter, Marksman Hunter. Tinsel bowstring reduces the cast time of aim shot by 25%. PvP combat was 50%. Skill nerf, I don't really know what that does. Unnearing vision increases your critical strike chance by 5% was 10%. And critical strike damage by 10% was 20%. Little nerf on the marksman there. Actually, marksman was one-shotting me like straight. It's more like hitting me for like 4 million, not one-shotting me, but hitting me hard, like 4 million. We only have 11 million health, and you know, they come up from behind me, I don't even see them, and they just kill me, and I can't even react. Survival Hunter, developer notes the one-shot potential of flanking strike was too devastating, so we're now reducing its damage and distributing that damage to the rest of the kit. Flanking strike damage reduced by 30%. Wow, 30% reduced damage in flanking strike. Nerf to that. All spells and ability damage increased by 4%, so you get a buff on all their abilities. Spearhead increase critical strike chance by 15% in PvP combat was 30%, 15% nerf on that. Deadly Duo increases your critical strike damage by 15% and PvP combat was 30%, so nerf on that. Fire Mage, Frostfire, severe temperatures is now 50% effective in PvP combat. And then Frostfire Empowerment now increases damage done by 15% was 36%, so they get a nerf. Fire Mages. Mistweaver, I play this a little bit now. Celestial Conduit damage decreased by 12% in PvP combat. I didn't even use that. I've seen other people using it, but okay. Windwalker, Conduit of the Celestials, Conduit damage increased by 12% in PvP combat. Windwalkers are doing absurd damage. Insane damage already. I don't know why they're getting buffs and not nerfs. At least in Shuffle, they're like one-shotting people. Like, the class is literally bugged, it feels like. I had one doing 1.7 million damage just alone. I can't even heal that much. I literally can't even heal that much. And one guy was doing it. Ret Pally, Blade of Justice, damage increased by 25% in PvP combat. Final Verdict increased by 10%. Judgment increased by 20%. Expurgation increased by 40%. Wow, huge buff on Ret Bellies there. Well, that's buffs for days right there on Ret Belly. Wow, I might have to level up the red again. I don't know, Disc Priest. This is what I play right here. I did not switch to it because it's a favorite of the month or anything like that. Played it for a while now. Sounds exactly like somebody who plays it, switches favorite of the month would say. Power of the World, Shield, Power Word Shield, reduced by 10%. 10% nerf on Shield. Power Word Radiance, nerfed by 10%, reduced by 10%. Archangel now increases the healing of Evangelism by 15%, was 30%. That is stupid, honestly. That is so dumb. That is the dumbest. Why would they even do that? Disc Priest was so dependent on Rapture, and then they took it away and they put Evangelism in there, and then you have to run this PvP talent, Archangel, to make it decent. And it like bugs out Evangelism. It doesn't even heal people sometimes. Like, it heals the person you're targeting, but not people around it. Very bugged out, in my opinion. It's killed me multiple times because it just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. At least, I don't think it does. Maybe I'm using it wrong. I have no idea. I'm standing right next to somebody while we both have 30% health, and it heals them and not me either. I don't know. Penance, damage, and healing reduced by 10%. That's fat. That's huge. I think Penance is so big. I think that should be like the #1 ability. Oracle, premonition of soulless absorption reduced by 25% in PvP combat. That's insane. That's actually insane how they're nerfing it, bro. I mean, this one is honestly pretty freaking big, you know, the soulless thing, but everything else is like, dang, it's like they're cutting this class. Yeah, that feels bad. It was pretty strong. It was like way stronger than the other healers right now. So maybe this will even it out, even the planes out. I just hope that it's not too much, but you know, whatever. Developer notes, we are increasing the power of Void Blast while keeping its atonement healing the same. Oracle has been a widely popular pick for its versatility, and our goal with the change is to give Void Weaver greater opportunities to shine when they are able to get consecutive Void Blast cast in. Okay, yeah. That's good. Enter Quietus is now 25% more effective. I don't even know what that is. Void Blast damage increased by 30%. That's pretty good. It's pretty big. Void Infusion is now 60% effective on PvP. I like that, except for I don't like that, honestly. I mean, I don't really like it too much, because in 2s, people play this build already, and whenever they're not playing this build, they're playing the Oracle build in 2s, they're doing insane damage compared to other healers. And then I can only imagine what Void Weaver is doing right now. I haven't even tried it out. And, probably doing insane damage after this 11th, and it's probably going to be overpowered as crap in 2s. So we'll see about that. Holy is not as good as Disc right now. I can tell you that much. Not as good as any of the, or just Disc is way better right now. Divine Hymn and healing increased by 80%. It's needed. It's honestly needed. I mean, whenever I played Holy, that was like a huge ability. Then it was just like Potato. Holy Fire damage increased by 30%. Needed. Nice. Smite damage increased by 80%. I think Smite should be increased by 80% as Disc and Holy, because Disc literally does no damage as Smite. Like, these nerfs, great, whatever, but I think I should get a buff on Smite by like 80 to 100%. That'd be actually nice, because you sit there, you'll press Smite like 100 times in a game. That'll be like 5, it'll be like 10% of your damage. It does no damage whatsoever. It really doesn't. Sub Rogue, we're making a few significant changes. Sub damage modifiers that when stacked together can cause a high burst damage. Our goal is change, decrease the maximum output. Yeah, the maximum output, but increase the consistency of sub burst windows. We'd like to ensure that they are a threat even without all these modifier presence, but have their high-end output capabilities be more in line with damage expectations. Okay, finality increases finishers by 8 or 15%. PvP combat was 1530. Shadow Blaze duplicates finishers 10% was 15. Darkest Night increases buff on damage. Eviscerate 10% was 19%. Symbolic Victory increases Eviscerator Black Powder damage by 10% was 18%. Dance Massacre now increases damage by 2% was 4%. Backstab damage increased by 20%. Gloom Blade damage 20% increase. Shadow Strike increased 20%. Rupture damage increased 25%, Eviscerate damage increased by 25%, Seer Technique damage increased by 10%. So this looks like it's just going to be like it says, not as bursty. It's going to be more along the roads of a assassination rogue. Hopefully it doesn't go too much in that direction, because, you know, whole difference between sub rogue and assass, but we'll see. Kind of like that change though, because sub rogue just feels like you're doing literally nothing whenever you don't have burst up. Like, literally does nothing. It does nothing whenever you're not bursting. You're just tickling people. Ellie Shaman, it's one of the funnest classes in the game. I swear. I don't play it though right now. I should. We are shifting some of the elemental damage of the out of the overloads and into core abilities to increase sustained damage and reduce elementals' reliance on overloads for kill power. Thank God. I'm so tired of healing versus Ellie's, and you were just like doing fine, you feel like, and then they just get a proc. They get lucky and they one-shot you, or they get lucky and they take you from 100% to 50% and they get lucky again. It's like fucking playing lottery. It's like playing the lottery to them, and they get lucky again, and it's like, boom, 2 lucks in a row and you're dead. You can't heal through that. Insane. Elemental overloads now deal 60% reduced damage in PvP combat. That's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, that is a lot. 60% reduced. Okay, I think maybe 30, 20, 30. That's huge. Wow. Mastery Elemental Load increased to physical and elemental damage is now 30% more effective in PvP combat. Okay, maybe it's evening out. Okay, yeah, it's definitely evening out. Lava Burst damage increased by 20%. PvP combat. Lightning Bolt damage increased by 30% in PvP combat. Chain Lightning damage increased by 30%. Fury damage increased by 20%. Frost Shock damage increased by 20%. Tempest damage increased by 20%. Stormbringer. And then Warrior, last of all, Champions Might critical strike damage decreased to 15%, almost 25%. Wow. This Ellie Shaman thing looks really nice. That's all we're looking at so far. But Resto Druid needed that. Prez Evoker, I'm not sure. I think they needed that. Marksman, honestly, I haven't seen them in arenas, but I think they needed that. I've heard about survival one-shotting, so good thing that good change on that. Fire, good change. Or honestly, I don't know about fire. Mistweaver, not really sure. Windwalker, I think I need. Oh, I said decreased. Okay, yeah. I read that it's increased earlier. I think that's good. But Celestial Conduit, I don't even know if they use that. Isn't that the ability? I don't know. Right, good. With Disc, I wish I would have seen better. Honestly, it's just sad that we're getting nerfed, but I think we should have seen buffs in other parts, like Smite. Holy good sub rogue, you know, good. Or maybe if you don't like it, I don't know about that one. I think it's good though. Ellie Shaman really good. Warrior's pretty strong right now. But yeah, that's what I think.